DragonCon is a convention that happens every year in Atlanta, Georgia, over Labor Day weekend. It's billed as the largest multi-genre convention that's out there. It was started in 1987. There were these four gents. They had been going to Comic-Cons, and they got bored a lot because they had other interests besides just comics. Each put in $300. They got actors, artists, and gamers of recognizable names. They offered fiction, gaming, and rock and roll, and they had 1,200 people attend. In 2019, the first year that I went, they had 85,000 plus people attending. There are 5 different hotels that host DragonCon. The Hyatt Regency has the art show downstairs in this grand hall. DragonCon and any art convention that you would go to has an unbelievable amount of preparation that you have to do for it. You have labels to make, print it up, cut it out, assemble everything. I wrote story blurbs for the backs of everything that was telling a little bit about how the artwork was created and also, the storyline. And it's really helpful to have stuff like that on the back of your artwork. If somebody is looking but maybe not terribly interested, you can mention that they have things on the back to be read, and they might find something that they're interested in just because, they connect with the story on the back. Preparation. Doing inventory and packaging. How much artwork you're going to have, buy clear bags and cardboard backing for the prints. There's a whole lot to setting up once you get to the show. So I laid out everything that I was going to have to install. I laid out things the way I thought they might go up, just trying to maximize my space and try to make things show as much as possible. You only get just a few seconds to catch someone's attention. And when I was doing this, I took a picture of each panel from a distance, and then I took a close-up of how things lined up with the edge of the grid or how they lined up next to each other, so that when I got to DragonCon, I could pull out my pictures, look at them, and know where everything was going to be hung. In the show, you have your table and you have, everybody has some kind of wall behind them of whatever height they choose to display their work. Each artist has a panel that's 34 inches wide and 8 feet tall. So I marked out with little blue tape on my rug what the general measurements were, and I started laying out the pieces that I wanted to take to see how many I could get in and what I wanted to look at. And I also planned out the tables. The tables that they gave us were 2 feet deep and 6 feet long. Most of the artists did not dress up in costume, but it's important for an artist or a presenter to at least be dressed somewhat memorably. James made silver padded sleeves to pack each of my pieces of art in, and it was all sized to fit. And he, of course, then packaged them together in cardboard to keep them all safe and secure and easy to carry. This is about halfway through the whole show setting up with all the different artists. You see James coming back in, and he is actually walking past my section of the gallery there on his left. So that's the size that we had to hang our artwork in. So at this point, I am set up and ready to go. And the only reason I got it done in 2 hours was because I did all that prep before of setting things up, figuring out what I wanted them to look like, taking pictures. And then my best laid plans of mice and men turned out pretty good. I was able to pretty much put my gallery the way I had envisioned it. Both the artists and people attending the show vote on their favorite fantasy or the best dragon or the best science fiction, whatever topics that the volunteers came up with, then the attendees would vote on their favorites. This is Swana. I traded one of my prints with this one here. It's one of a fairy and a library. But I'm not quite sure how she managed that hat, but she did. And some pictures of some of the people in their costumes, standing, greeting people, calling their attention to your table in a friendly way, is, what you really need to do. Saturday morning, nobody was hardly even looking at my table, so I got a little discouraged. But Saturday was actually my best day. I ended up having quite a few sales. I used Square for payment, and we did do cash. And you have your paper that you have to fill out to pay your taxes. So we were walking, I think, to the car, and James was taking off his tags. And this is what, everybody, whether you're a presenter, a seller, a performer, an attendee, you get these tags to wear around on whatever part of your body you want to attach them. And James said the sweetest thing. He says, your art would look really good on these.